She built the company's empire with her own money, memberships, and name. Then her CEO, his intern, and a woman she promoted framed her for theft, stole her office, poking clients. Even her daughter made gift. Sophie 的 Zentify 是 science. Weights and less greed become evidence. They think it's over. The records and the truth belong to her.
Not Cross and Associates, not Nathan Cross, and definitely not Megan goddamn Lawson. Megan Lawson. A Wharton intern who'd been at the company less than 3 months ago, she was still nodding like a bobblehead in front of me, begging me to teach her how to handle clients. Now she makes one phone call and thinks she can throw me out of my own club. I pulled up the membership contract on my phone. Member name, payment history, bank records. Every single line pointed to me. The girl at the front desk read through it, and her face changed immediately.
Oh my God. Mrs. Sutton, I'm so sorry. Let me call my manager.
No rush. My voice stayed calm, but my hands were shaking. For 3 years, I let the company use my club to entertain clients. I opened corporate extension cards under my personal credit line, so Nathan could wine and dine investors. I leased my own office building to the company at half market rent. When payroll fell apart, I personally covered 3 months of salaries for the entire staff. And Nathan Cross, my college classmate, the CEO, still hadn't put the promised 5% equity in writing after 3 years. Today, I came to Hillcrest to host Richard Whitfield, founder of Whitfield Capital, one of the most notoriously difficult private equity sharks on Wall Street. Also our company's biggest client, a $2 million annual contract. I landed that account myself 3 years ago. Spent 3 months learning golf just for him. On the 9th hole, I hit a birdie, and Richard laughed.
You actually play. I like that.
He signed the contract that night. Ever since, every quarterly visit was arranged by me, at my club, with my wine, on my dime. Nathan never once asked whose money was paying for it. And today, the day of Richard's quarterly visit, Megan froze my membership. The second I stepped into the clubhouse lobby, my phone rang. Richard Whitfield. He never calls directly.
Sophie, I'm not calling about golf.
His voice was heavy.
I just got off the phone with a young woman named Megan Lawson. She introduced herself as the new point of contact for my account.
Said you've been removed from the project.
My stomach dropped.
She told me you've been misusing company funds, that there's an internal investigation. And, I'm quoting directly, Sophie Sutton has been deceiving clients, including you, for years.
Megan Lawson. 3 months ago, she was asking me what wine Richard liked. I told her. I gave her his assistant's name, the best time to send emails, the memo format he preferred. I taught her everything by hand. She used it all to go around me, contact my biggest client, and stab me in the back. Richard, I said,
I need you to listen to me.
That's exactly why I called you directly, Sophie. Something about that girl's story didn't add up.
What didn't add up?
One beat of silence. Then Richard said something that nearly broke me.
She didn't know I already knew the club belongs to you. She didn't know I've always known.
He'd always known. The wine at every dinner came out of my own pocket. Known the membership was mine. Known I wasn't some executive blowing company money. I was a woman draining her own savings to keep afloat a company that didn't belong to her.
Sophie, I signed that contract because of you, not Nathan Cross. You.
I know, Richard.
I'm coming to your office tomorrow. I want to look Nathan in the eye. Then I'll decide whether Whitfield Capital continues this relationship.
He hung up. Seconds later, my phone buzzed. Nathan's text.
Sophie, I need you at the office. Now. We need to talk about the Whitfield account.
3 years. Every time Nathan said, we need to talk, it meant, I need you to clean up my mess. Not this time. I didn't reply. I dialed another number.
Karen, it's Sophie. I need you to pull every document on my assets tied to Cross & Associates. The club membership, the credit card, the office lease, everything.
Karen Walsh, commercial litigation attorney, my closest friend for 15 years.
Sophie, are you sure? If you pull everything out, that company collapses within a month.
I looked out at the perfectly trimmed greens beyond the clubhouse windows.
That's not my problem anymore.
At exactly 10 o'clock that morning, the company-wide email detonated across the office. Subject, internal notice, policy violation by VP Sophie Sutton, misuse of company resources. I sat at my desk and read every single line. Long-term misuse of company client entertainment resources for personal social activities. unauthorized use of corporate credit cards, improper personal use of company club memberships. Every accusation sounded polished and righteous. Every single one was a complete distortion of the truth. Whispers spread through the conference rooms almost immediately.
She's been using the Hillgrace membership for personal stuff? That place costs like $100,000 a year.
Megan did the right thing. Somebody had to say it.
David Chen, the CFO, 6 months ago, I used my private restaurant membership to help him host an audit partner. The $4,000 bill had gone straight onto my card. Now he stood in the break room holding a coffee, acting like none of it had anything to do with him. Jessica Park. I personally promoted her from receptionist to project manager. 10 minutes ago, I overheard her in the hallway saying,
Well, rules are rules. Nobody's above the system.
my office door swung open. Megan walked in and dropped a stack of documents onto my desk.
Finance ran the numbers. Over the past 24 months, club fees, credit card charges, asset depredation, the total comes to $128,000. Nathan already signed off on it. You have 72 hours to reimburse the company.
128 grand. Very precise.
Megan, do you know who actually pays the annual dues for Hillcrest? The company. No, I do. $120,000 a year, directly from my personal checking account. And the credit card you flagged as a corporate expense?
I leaned back in my chair.
Who's the primary cardholder on that account? The company's. Mine. Every dollar comes off my personal line of credit.
Her expression froze for half a second before snapping back into place.
Well, that's between you and Nathan. Going forward, all client entertainment requests will require formal approval.
She folded her arms.
Submitted through me.
An intern who'd been here for 3 months was now approving entertainment budgets for the VP of operations.
Oh, and one more thing.
She pulled another paper from the folder.
Richard Whitfield's quarterly visit is next week. We'll be hosting him at Hillcrest. Please remove your personal belongings from the VIP lounge.
My personal belongings, the 2010 Opus 1 I kept there for Richard, my private golf clubs.
Fine.
I picked up a pen and signed the reimbursement form. Megan snatched the papers away, smiling like she'd already won.
No hard feelings, right, Sophie? It's just business.
The door shut behind her. Her heels clicked farther and farther down the hallway. $128,000. Fine, I'd pay it. I wanted to see just how greedy they were willing to get. After Megan left, I did 3 things. First, I texted Karen. They want a $128,000 reimbursement for the personal use of my own assets. I signed it. Let them put everything in writing. The deeper they dig, the deeper the hole. Second, I called Chase to confirm the status of the corporate extension cards. Primary cardholder, Sophie Sutton. I didn't freeze them yet. Not time. Third, I emailed the membership manager at Hillcrest. Any changes to my guest list must be approved by me directly in writing. No exceptions. Then I went down to the parking garage. Last month, Nathan had reassigned my parking spot. I'd been moved from P1 beside the elevators to the far corner of P2. Megan, an intern, got my old spot. I hadn't even reached my car when I heard laughter. Megan was standing beside Nathan's Mercedes with a cardboard box at her feet. 2 women from admin stood nearby, awkwardly avoiding eye contact. The box held the contents of my office. A framed photo of Emma in Central Park, my Mont Blanc fountain pen, and a tiny ceramic owl Emma made in art class last Mother's Day, with crooked little letters painted across the bottom. Best mom ever. Megan picked up the owl and turned it over in her hand,
What is this, some kindergarten project?
then casually tossed it into the trash. One of the admin assistants, Julia, spoke up quietly.
Maybe we should just let Sophie pick this up herself. No. Nathan said clear her office by end of day. It's being converted into the new Client Strategy Center.
My office. I spent 3 years sleeping in. Megan leaned against Nathan's car and snapped a selfie for Instagram.
New chapter, new energy. Hard work pays off fast. Hashtag blessed and grateful. Past girl bossed.
After they left, the garage fell silent again. I stepped out from behind the concrete pillar and walked to the trash can. The ceramic owl wasn't broken, just chipped. Best mom ever. I slipped it carefully into my box. Then I opened Instagram and liked Megan's post. Keep going, Megan. What you don't know is that the parking space you're standing in, the office you're renovating, this entire building belongs to me. My phone buzzed with a message from Karen.
Files ready. Property deed, credit card records, club membership, everything. Just say the word.
I I stared at the screen for a moment before replying with 2 words. Not yet. I wanted to wait until they reached farther, until they swallowed every piece of my life whole and digested it into company assets, until it all became another shiny bullet point on their resumes, until they forgot who everything belonged to, and then I'd remind them.
At 3 o'clock that afternoon, the head of HR knocked on my door. Sophie, Nathan wants you to temporarily transition your client management responsibilities. To whom? Megan. Nathan says she's shown exceptional initiative. Intern? Nathan said she's being fast-tracked to client relations manager, effective Monday. So that was the reward for stepping over my corpse, a manager title. Not a bad deal for Megan. Less than 10 minutes after Lisa left, Megan appeared in my doorway. Sophie, Nathan wants me fully up to speed on the Whitfield account before next week's quarterly visit. Fine. I need to know everything. The client I spent 3 years building with my own money, my own time, my own connections. What exactly do you need to know? His preferences. Wine, dietary restrictions, hobbies, anything that helps me build rapport. I looked at her eager face for a long moment. Richard drinks Opus 1, preferably 2010. He hated shellfish. He played golf every Saturday morning. But what he hated most in the world was young people pretending to know more than they did. The last junior associate who tried too hard to build rapport got thrown off the golf course halfway through the back 9. Got it. Oh, and about the club, I'll be handling all Hillcrest reservations going forward. Nathan gave me the company's access credentials. The club didn't even have the company's name on file. Good luck. And Nathan's taking me to meet a new prospect this afternoon. We're using the company credit card for dinner at Per Se. $1,000 a head on my card? Enjoy. At 4 o'clock, my phone buzzed. Just then, using my card, burning through my credit line, closing their deals with my money. Not yet. Then I opened the Chase app and pulled up the supplementary card management page. My thumb hovered over confirm, didn't press it. If I froze the cards, it needed to happen at a moment they would remember for the rest of their lives. I closed the app and opened another file instead. Commercial lease agreement for the office building under my name. Cross & Associates operate out of a property my father left me. Back when Nathan first started the company, he couldn't afford a real office. I rented him the space at half the market rate. The lease renewed annually, and it expired on the 15th of next month. Megan wanted to cut costs and improve efficiency? Fine. We could start with the rent. Wednesday afternoon. I was coming back from a client meeting, standing in the lobby waiting for the elevator when a black Escalade pulled up to the front entrance. Nathan's company car. Leased last year for executive client transportation. $4,000 a month. Charged to my credit card. Megan came striding out of the building in heels, a folded tucked under her arm, Nathan walking right behind him. They were heading to meet the new client. Megan spotted me by the elevators and stopped.
Oh, Sophie! Heading home? Need a ride?
We'd offer, but we're on our way to Westchester for a client meeting. Nathan's schedule is packed. Nathan was already sitting inside the car.
You should really download Uber. Way more convenient than waiting around for elevator.
He looked at me once through the window, something unreadable crossing his face, but he said nothing. The Escalade pulled away from the curb and disappeared into the traffic on Fifth Avenue. I stood in the lobby watching the taillights fade. The lease payment for that SUV came off my card. The dinner for today's client meeting came off my card. Even the suit Nathan was wearing had been bought with my card last year at Saks. Client-facing wardrobe allowance, that was how he'd explained it to me. My phone buzz again. Gas. Also mine. Using my car. My fuel, my money to close their deals, and mocking me for standing by the elevator. I stood there in the middle of the lobby and took a slow breath. Then I opened my phone and texted Karen. Next week, I want them to use it one more time at Hillcrest, in front of Richard. When it declines in front of their biggest client, that's when they'll understand. Karen sent back a single emoji. I slipped my phone into my pocket and stepped into the elevator. 15th floor, a property under my name. 22 days left on the lease. The countdown had officially started. The next few days were strangely peaceful for me. Megan, meanwhile, was running herself into the ground. She was juggling the operations handoff while also preparing for Richard Whitfield's quarterly visit the following week. Every day came with a new Instagram story dripping with self-congratulation. Leadership isn't just a title, it's a lifestyle. When preparation meets opportunity, big week ahead. A picture she'd pulled off Google because she couldn't actually get inside. Coworkers flooded the comments. Queen, you deserve this, future CEO. Only I knew she was playing with gasoline.
Sophie, where are you?
At home.
The corporate card got declined. My assistant tried booking the private dining room at Parade for Richard's visit next week.
Declined. She called Chase, and they said the supplementary card had been canceled.
Oh, that. I reported my primary card compromised. Chase froze the entire account, including all supplementary cards. Standard security protocol.
Then unfreeze it. Richard's visit is Tuesday.
I'd need to go into a Chase Chance person with 2 forms of ID. They're closed on weekends. And I have a personal appointment Monday.
Sophie, are you doing this on purpose because of the reimbursement? Are you seriously this petty? If Richard's visit falls apart, are you prepared to take responsibility for that?
First, it's my card. I can freeze it whenever I want. Second, why exactly is the company using my personal credit card to entertain clients?
Doesn't Crossing Blurs have its own corporate account? The company did have its own account. It just had a $20,000 limit. Nathan always complained the application process for higher tier corporate cards was too much hassle. My cards had better limits, better rewards, and easier approval. So they used mine. Before, I never cared. Now I did.
Fine, Sophie, fine. The company will get its own card, but don't think you'll be using any company resources going forward.
Sure, Nathan.
Mommy, was that a mean person?
No, baby. Just someone who forgot something important.
What did he forget?
Whose house he's living in. Sunday night, Emma was asleep. I poured myself a glass of red wine, sat down at the dining table, and opened my laptop. First, the Chase app. Supplementary cards canceled. I went through the statements month by month. Over the past 2 years, Cross & Associates had charged a total of $387,000 to my card. Not a single dollar had ever been paid back. Then I opened the property management folder, the lease for Cross & Associates' office. The entire 15th floor of a midtown commercial building my father left me. Market rent $30,000 a month. What I charged Nathan? $18,000. 1-year renewable contract, expiration date next Wednesday. If they didn't renew, they'd officially become holdover tenants. Reply came almost instantly. Perfect. Anyone but the current tenant. After that, I pulled out a sheet of paper and started doing the math. 2 years of misusing company resources. Hillcrest membership, $360,000. Corporate expenses charged to my personal credit cards, $387,000. Below market